What's up, guys? The red light is on. Another awesome segment with Felicia Spencer. We're going to bring her in a couple seconds. I just wanted to kind of throw something real quick. I know how social media is sometimes, and I just saw some stuff. So I know Fee probably doesn't want me to do this, but like I'm 1,000,000% behind Felicia Spencer. Dude, have you guys looked up her on Topology? Like since 2013, 3 losses. She's fought the toughest competition in the world. Like that Cyborg fight is still amazing. Amanda Nunes would have war, and then a split decision that maybe I thought Fee definitely won. I know I'm gonna bring her in. She's gonna be like, "Come on, Dave, why are you doing this?" But it's crazy. Those social media people, I'm just over it. It's wild.
I don't even know what's going on with it, but thanks for having me back.
Always, always. I just saw a couple people and they're like, just negative. And I was like, do people not understand like how great of a mixed martial artist you are? And just like, like the competition you fought, like the names, even on the amateur scene, and then even at the beginning and the Invicta fights, like it's crazy. I'm just, I guess I'm a little red today. I'm a little pumped up.
Yeah, it is crazy. A lot of people I've even trained with over the years, like they're such good fighters. They're so well-rounded. They're amazing in the gym. And then things don't always work out in the fight, but it's like I still know everyone who knows them still knows how awesome they are. But
Right.
You really are like as good as your last performance in a lot of the fans' eyes. So, it is what it is. It's all part of the game now.
All part of the game. All right. That's off my chest. We can go back to our daily routine. Felicia Spencer, phenomenal pick. So, like, before we got rolling, it's just a packed weekend. Invicta FC is back. Really, really stacked card. LFA has a really great card. PFL, this is their last kind of semifinals. A couple really cool, intriguing fights on that. And then, of course, we got the UFC, like one of the best main events to, like, I think the people inside with Giga Chikasi versus Edson Barbosa. We got the Ultimate Fighter finalists. I'm like, oh, my goodness. And then, of course, to kind of put the cherry on the top, Sunday night, it's the T. Woodley versus Jake Paul boxing match, which, like, I know it sounds horrible. I will be watching. Like, I need to watch this. I got to see what happens. And so then I can talk about it. So, Fee, there's so much there. You
Yeah.
can taste a little bit, whatever you want, but like, what way are you leaning for your phenomenal pick this weekend?
This one was really hard. I was looking at all the events, and I really just want to shine some light on Invicta. So I really took a close look at the card. There's some really cool fights on Invicta. I'm looking at the list right now because there's so many. I don't want to forget. Brogan Sanchez, I'm really high on her. She's one of the coolest people I met when I was at Invicta, and I only met her for like a few minutes, but she's already such a big favorite on the card. I wouldn't want to pick her because she's already such a big favorite, but definitely a fun one to watch. Local Central Florida fighter Caitlin Sandman is fighting another Florida, visitor, or I don't know if she lives in Florida, Helen Peralta, but
Right.
man, that's going to be a banger. That's going to be a really interesting one.
That's a really good one. And real quick, let me get you right before the broken one. So she's fighting Emily King, who like Emily King was just on the show last week, and it was so funny. I was I was like making my bets on betonline.ag, maybe becoming a little bit of a sponsor here at the Fight Bananas family, but we'll get into that at a different time.
Awesome.
So I was making some bets and I saw that fight and I see Emily King's name. And like I said, I just interviewed her. She's supposed to fight on Valor like a week and a half from now. And I was like, I kind of reached out to her. I was like, Emily, I see you on the Invicta betting odds. She's like, oh my goodness, no one knows. Literally, I just signed it. She goes like, Dave, I signed it 4 minutes ago. I was like, it's literally on Bet Online. Like
I still see Brogan fighting Barella, so she's fighting King.
Yeah, Emily King.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that. So
there you go.
my list is still not updated, I guess, but that's so exciting though. That's really cool.
Yeah,
that they can fill in like when fights fall through, that they're able to just have people ready. And I know people are ready to jump in. That's awesome. Another one that I noticed was the co-main, Lisa Veroza versus Tanisha Tennant. That's a really interesting fight. And I was surprised by the betting odds, but I think a lot of people don't realize that Lisa Veroza used to be Lisa Spangler, and that's the same person. I think she just got married, So okay. I feel like the betting odds would be a little more in her favor if she still had the other last name.
Really?
But Tanisha Tennant is she's an awesome fighter. I really enjoyed like her trying to step up in the Contender Series, and I think she's a great fighter, but I've always just been a big fan of Lisa Spangler. I think she's just like scary in the cage. So, um,
After
and
your pick, we're gonna go back to that. That's actually
okay,
super funny, and I got like some intriguing stuff with that, with the whole last name thing. So that's funny. We'll go back to that. We'll go back to it.
okay. But my pick, down to my pick, just based on the odds and stuff. The only underdog that I was like really high on was Serena. What's her last name? The Jesus.
Okay, DeJesus.
Serena
Okay.
Southpaw. I know her as Serena Southpaw. I think she's a slight underdog, and I think she's a little bit bigger than her opponent. I think her opponent used to be a flyweight or something like that. So, great team. I think she trains out of Syndicate still. So I really like the team that she's with, and I've heard good things about her, and I've seen her fight before.
Very cool. And that's one reason why we love having you on and talking about it, because like that's inside great information that the other most of the world does not know, and if you never train with and all that stuff. All right, so yeah, I'm so intrigued with the last name thing. I'm so there with you, because I kind of talked to you about that like a year ago of that nature. It's kind of funny, like if you think about it, if the fans just say, let's just use you as a perfect example. So if they know you as Felicia Spencer and Invicta FC champion, and you fought for the title UFC 250 versus the greatest female fighter of all time, and they have a great buzz around your name, and then you change it to Felicia Coppinger, right? And maybe just say the first one you lose to Norma on a split decision, that you beat her 29-28. We all get into that. Like, and if that's like the only fight they see and they remember on ESPN Plus that, oh, Coppinger lost, like, yeah, like they might be like, really forgetting what Spencer did over the 7 years of your career. It's so intriguing to me that like it really could happen to a 60% of the MMA universe, the crowd.
Yeah. And yeah, it definitely goes both ways. Like whether you win your next fight or you lose your next fight, like that's kind of your new perception, maybe. But even for me, when I was looking at the fight card, I was like, who the heck is Lisa Verosa? And then I was like, they're fighting for a title. I must know who this is,
Right.
And then I looked and I was like, oh my God. Oh, okay. I understand now. So, yeah, I think you'd have to be one of the fans, or if you're betting, to actually like do a little bit of extra clicking to figure that out, and then to sway you in one way or another. So, but yeah, that's a really exciting fight. I know I kind of like picked against Tanisha, but that's going to be a great fight either way. I could see either of them winning, but I've always been like secretly thinking Lisa Spangler is the one scary woman in the cage.
No, she's really good.
In the case of Amanda Nunes, I think she's just got a really good aura. She's likable. So,
and also a fight like you kind of named earlier about Helen Peralta and Caitlin, like that's a really good fight. Like that's an awesome fight. I went back and forth because the betting odds, if I remember right, they're super close. It's like a 105, 110.
Like yeah.
And like I was leaning one way, and I won't say it because I kind of know both of them and all of that nature, and I didn't bet it. I didn't feel good enough either way. That's a good fight. Like because they've been gone for a little bit. Like they had that hiatus and trying to get TV and all that nature. So now I think they got like a backstock of a ton of really good talent. And I don't have to tell you this, like female MMA is just on fire. Like it's everywhere. More regional scenes want more female fights on the card. It just brings in great fights, brings in great buzz. It's just really good for the whole organization. So it's Invicta's always been a good funnel to the UFC.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I rarely can look at an Invicta card and know top to bottom, like almost everybody on it, like just familiar with who they are. So, that makes it definitely an exciting first pay-per-view event.
There you go. All right. So 2 more things I want to definitely talk to you, pick your brain about. One is this main event UFC. It's like people in the know, like I'm just like jacked up on it. There's some title fights in the next 2-3 months. I like this Barbosa versus Giga fight even more. It's incredible. The action and the violence we're going to see in this fight. I kind of want you to maybe handicap it for a second, and then I'm really strong. I have a really good lean one way, so I would love your take first.
Yeah, I really don't know who I would pick for that one. Like you said, it's when you see the names, it's like, oh, that's just going to be like fireworks, and I feel like anything can happen. I feel like if Barboza wins, it would probably be like a knockout, probably by a kick, and then otherwise every other way would be Giga. I don't know though. This is an exciting fight. It's kind of like another one of those like thing where like two scary people are gonna face each other in the octagon, and it's gonna be pretty crazy. So hopefully I stay up long enough to watch it.
Sometimes, yeah, those 10 o'clock Eastern times, non-pay-per-view is tough. It's tough, especially the kids are up at 5 a.m. on a Saturday morning. It's tough. But back to the fight. I really like Edson Barbosa in this fight. Since he moved down to 145, I think it's like the Jose Aldo thing. It's like kind of like a second life in their career. They were almost big at 155, and Aldo was big at 135. And it's like when they lose that 10 pounds, and like you're just humongous for the weight class. And then I like Giga a lot. I really do. And like I hope this doesn't sound negative to him. I'm just like, if you look at his last 3, 4, 5 fights, like it seems like it's a guy out of its prime or a guy that's not in his prime yet, or just, let's just be honest, just maybe not as skilled or technique or as experienced. And then you go to like Edson Barbosa, and it's like he's Habib Nurmagomedov, plenty of cage time with, Showtime Pettis and Gaethje and Paul Felder. It's like he fought Paul Felder 9 times. And then another thing that's very kind of, you just look at the record or you look at the ranking by him. I think he's lost 4 split decisions, like out of the last like 8, 9, 10 fights, because I think some people, like we talk about the judging all the time, like I like whoever does the most damage. And maybe Barbosa will get out controlled or out grappled for 3 minutes on the cage, but he's beautiful leg kicks and a great elbow, and he's done the most damage in the round. And I would judge it for Barbosa, and Judge A would do it for Felder. So it's like if those 4 losses would flip, like his record would be like 30-4, lost to Habib and Gaethje. It's like he's one of the, like he's an all-timer, and he's like, to me, super, super underrated. I love Barbosa in this main event. Love him.
Yeah, I definitely am a big fan of him and his showmanship, like in his skills and everything. It's pretty awesome. He's definitely fun to watch.
Okay. All right, cool. So we did that. We're going long. I'm sorry, Fee. I'm taking up all your time. All right. So after a great weekend, PFL and LFA and Invicta and then UFC, there's a boxing match Sunday night. It's on pay-per-view. It's in Ohio. It's, UFC, I would believe, guaranteed Hall of Famer Tyron Woodley. He's a huge underdog at plus 160 versus Jake Paul. My mind is absolutely blown about it. Are you, first and foremost, are you going to watch it? And 2, are you like surprised about Woodley being an underdog?
It's possible that I'll watch it. I don't have any specific plan to watch it right yet, but I usually just wing it on my weekends. So hopefully I'll catch it. I won't probably like make a big thing out of it. I don't know. I'm a little bit surprised that he's an underdog like that, but at the same time, like I said earlier, people view you like as good as your last performance, and his last handful have been like a little, less than what it used to be. Sure. And Jake Paul is such a good, a good promoter. He said all the right things, honestly. And like it used to be like, not like annoying, because I don't like really take things personal, so it doesn't really annoy me to see him. I used to think he was definitely like out of his league and like talking. Right. I didn't like the negativity. I still don't like the negativity that comes out. But he backed it up a little bit, and he's starting to like earn the respect a little bit. And honestly, like since he beat Ben, his tone changed a lot towards like more positive fighter related things. So
he really has.
I kind of like, man, like everyone's like, man, I hate to agree with Jake Paul, but he said all the right things, man. He's really like doing a good job of promoting himself and his brand, and more power to him, I guess. And I was gonna be like, I don't really follow boxing, so I won't catch it, but like I can't really even say this is like following boxing. It's just like following a spectacle, So,
right. It's a circus show. It's circus show with gloves in it. And as combat sports fans, as you and I are, like we're hopefully going to watch it and just be intrigued. And like with me just doing the podcast and talking about it and stuff, like it's like I gotta watch it. It's like a part of my weekend. I think you said something brilliant there. I really did. I kind of want to hit back on it and why I think he did it. Like, he was never really a crazy controversial person. It kind of became controversial when like he kind of went into the boxing scene, and like because everyone thought, you're a YouTuber, singer, kind of doing funny videos, and like there's an alley for that. Like no one makes fun of who's the guy who did the movie Jackass, like Steve-O or Johnny Knoxville, right? Like no one like that's who they are. And Johnny Knoxville's awesome. If I see Johnny Knoxville, I would buy him a Budweiser at a bar. But like when Jake Paul's like, hey, I'm gonna come into boxing, which is like so old school and grit and like has this, beautiful backbone to the sport. And he's got blonde hair and he's loud and he's like, hey, like he's that he's like, he is the, like you look up millennial in the dictionary, it's Jake Paul. Like he is that look, that feel. And so it just rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but you're so right. So he knocked out Ben Askren. Afterwards, he wasn't, to me, like he wasn't super cocky. He wasn't like, oh, I told you so. He was like, no, like this is what I said was going to happen. All respect to Ben. Like he was actually really respectful to Ben Askren. I remember that. And then even going into this fight, like he was like, hey, he's given Woodley props. Like he's like, dude, he's super strong and he's got twitch and, he's a Hall of Famer and all this stuff. So he's like, it's so funny. And now he's like so pro giving fighters money. And that's like my number one thing. It's like, Dave, you like rub a genie, you got two wishes. I'll be like, peace in the world and fighters deserve more money. Like that would be my second wish. So it's like, he's on that. I'm like, I kind of agree with that. I like that. I'm with that.
And it's like, exactly. He's being so like positive and everything. He's really changed the way he talks. So kind of for me, like I like him more because of that. And Woodley's out there like saying just exaggerated things that are going to happen in the fight. Like, I don't know, I don't remember the quote, but like that he's going to like hurt him so bad that you've never seen anything like it before. Like that kind of stuff is so exaggerated. It's like, come on. You might win. Yeah, you're probably going to win, Woodley, but you're probably not going to do anything we haven't seen before. Like, don't make it sound so crazy, like the high expectations, and then show up and maybe not do that, So,
Right.
He just seems like he's talking so negative and like it's almost like the roles have switched and it seems like Jake Paul's under his skin a little bit.
Yeah, it is wild. It was so cool. I put a post up this morning and last night about we got 100,000 followers on Facebook on the Fight Bananas team. We're like so pumped. It's so awesome. But I know people would love, they don't like the seesaw. So I'm going to pick away. This is my final prediction on the fight. I was kind of leaning one way almost the whole time, and I switched it, and I think I'm going to stick with my switch. I think Tyron Woodley's going to get it done. I just think he's not too far from his prime. Like he just like him versus Vicente Luque 5 months ago in the UFC was phenomenal. And we just saw Luque just, ran through Chiesa. So like, I still think Woodley still got some mojo. And also I think he knows, and like, this is like a real thing. If he loses to Jake Paul, like this follows him. Like he kind of, Woodley's not the welterweight champion and he's not the guy who, knocked out Robbie Lawler. He's the guy who lost to Jake Paul. Like that will really follow him. And Woodley seems like one of those guys. He doesn't want that. Like that's what I feel. So I got Woodley.
I agree. I definitely think Tyron's going to win.
Okay.
I see that happening 9 times out of 10 for sure.
Yeah. And if you had to guess, quick or long?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. How long are the rounds in boxing? Is it 2 or 3?
I believe it's a 10-round, 3-minute fight. I believe it's like legitimate high-end boxing rules. I think it's going to go long. I don't know why. I just think, I think Woodley is going to play it not safe, but like he's fought 25 minutes versus like Kamaru Usman. Like he's done some incredible things, and Jake Paul knocked out Askren in like in a minute and a half. I think he knows if he's in the 6th round with Jake Paul, that's a huge advantage to Woodley. Like he's been in these 18, 25-minute fights and wars. And, Jake Paul has never been out of like the 1st round. Like that's not his thing. So I think that would be, and I think Woodley knows that. Like, let's hang on you. Let's use our feet. I would assume he's going to be in great shape, great cardio. I think it's going to go long. I think it's going to be 7th, 8th, 9th round, maybe all 10. That would be wild if it went all 10.
Yeah. Probably is going to be in the later rounds if Woodley takes it. Definitely see that. And then the funny thing is I see Woodley winning, but I still see it being like a win for Paul. We'll like him more with whatever he says. Like he's going to say something and everyone's going to be like, good for you, Paul. You know, like you made it. Good job. You know, so
he's literally
and
gonna be
I'm
like
moral victories. All right, like I get.
Yeah. He's like Rocky and Rocky 4. Like he's fighting in Russia, and everyone thinks we're like all pro Woodley and anti Paul. And at the end, we're like, gosh, that Paul guy was pretty good. He just got a great payday for Woodley. He's gonna say I'm donated some of my money to other fighters. Like he's just gonna say something good. I agree. He knows how to brand himself and knows how to get another payday and knows how to just kind of keep the name out there. But all right, so we're 20 minutes in and we're only 1/4 done with the show. This is easily our longest Felicia Spencer phenomenal fighter pick of the week. Loved it. Always love talking to you. Love picking your brain. So your pick was in Invicta FC with De Jesus Serrana's her first name?
Serena Southpaw is what I know her as. Yeah.
Okay. So you got Serena. Yeah, I'm really interested. I can't wait. I'm going to watch that as well. I think that's Friday night. It's like I got PFL tonight. I got Invicta Friday, UFC Vegas 34 Saturday, and then the Woodley fight Sunday. My wife is going to love me. Absolutely love me. Just watching fights all weekend. Get the kids something, darling. I'm watching fights.
Right.
Unbelievable. But Fee, appreciate you. Hopefully, I think if not next week, the week after that, I'll try to come back out to the jungle. We'll do it live again. It was a huge success. Like the views on my personal Instagram was awesome on it. So I was super happy. I think it's something different, and you and I together and cool background. I thought it was great. So hopefully we'll do it again soon.
Sounds good. Yeah, look forward to it.
Awesome. Sounds good, Fee. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
All right. Bye.